Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got for this Impact. The show before the Go Home show. I'm going to start with the X Division. Now, seeing Suicide was really good. I really haven't seen a lot of Suicide's work. I did catch a little bit of it, and he was really cool. Now, the problem here is this. Now, the match of Suicide, Petey Williams, and Joey Ryan with Kenny King, long live the King, baby, as commentary wasn't bad. Commentary was okay, and I wish to say that I'm glad they're kind of toned back. The last, at least one show before this with Taz, because I couldn't stand him anymore, he still had to do a little bit of his heel work today, which I'm still not fond of. It wasn't too bad, but I wish he would just go back to being a normal commentator. The match was good, and Suicide wins. But here's the problem. We now know that Suicide is going to be in the triple threat at Slammiversary for the X Division title. The problem here is this. Last week, when they had that match, where Petey Williams was not even promoted, not even given a in-ring segment to talk, only Saban and only King, really made me feel very uncomfortable about this. For the simple fact that, look, this is like getting an ROH type of match. This is what it is. To me personally. And the problem here is this. Not everyone is interested in ROH. Excuse me. I haven't been feeling well, sorry. And not everyone's interested in having an ROH type of match. It's a smart move on TNA to try and bring the ROH fans in. I understand that. But the problem is, ROH is not one of the biggest markets in your shares, TNA. It isn't. And what they tried to do the week before that match, where Saban and where King had their in-ring segment and had their beginning of their feud, what happened to Petey Williams? Petey Williams should have been thrown into that mix. I said that in those two Impact reviews. Just having two guys do a feud and a third one there means that third person's going to be a jobber. Petey Williams is a good talent. Now, I haven't really seen a lot of Petey Williams' work, like Suicide. I tried to see a little bit of it, and what I understand is he didn't really talk a lot, but he still did his own in-ring segments. He still had feuds with people. And the problem here is this. No one is getting over as much as people think they are. Having a triple threat where there's only two guys that are there that are feuding, and the third guy that's jobbing takes away from the actual feud. Because if the jobber jobs for either one, how do you get the feeling of one of them losing to the other one and then having to fight back to win? Heel and faces have to beat one another to get the feeling of how good and evil goes. And I'm not seeing this right now. I'm hoping they'll give Suicide an in-ring segment. I know Suicide's not probably a big talker. If he is, I'll be glad. The promo segments that he did coming back, the pre-tapes were good. And I was hoping, and I am hoping, they will show him periodically next week, at least once, talking with the X Division champ, with the other contender. I'm hoping they'll do the ring segment, all three of them together. That's if they'll fit it in. If the X Division's not fitted in, I'll understand. But if they let Saban and then let Kenny King again, without Suicide talk, I'm going to tell you this right now. As much as it's entertaining to see some good wrestling from the X Division, I feel like it's a lost cause. It's going down. As much as I know there are going to be people down there that are going to say, man, you don't know what you're saying. Let me ask you this. Why aren't you watching ROH then? If the X Division is not totally promoting any type of feuds, then if they were, why didn't you go to ROH? Because you felt that the people that were wrestling in X Division who had good charisma, who had good in-ring work, who had good mic skills, interested you. Saban's been around a long time. So people know him. When he was part of the Motor City Machine Guns, he was able to talk with his partner. You noticed that more than you noticed the matches. Because if it was only the matches, then ROH should be the one that's over everything. Because they're the ones who promote more matches than anything else. But when you do something like this, You take away what makes a match interesting. If you do it every single time like they're doing now, there's no feuding, no promotion between all three of them so one of them can get over. Like I said, I'm hoping Suicide will get his time to talk maybe next week. I'm really hoping. I don't want to see it on YouTube. I don't want to see it on Explosion. I want to see it on Impact. This is where the people mainly look at this stuff. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, the next gut check wrestling match to see who will go into Slammiversary and see who's going to match who to go into Bound for Glory, the BFG series. Sam Shaw against Silva. Silva gets taken out by Wes Briscoe. Wes Briscoe with Doc and his tag-along partner of Garrett Bischoff pretty much said that I deserve to be here. I'm a gut check winner. I took out your damn partner. You're lucky I'm not involved in this. But you know what? You're not that lucky because I'm going to kick your ass. So all three of them get in the ring, and then Magnus comes out. It's good to see Magnus after 2 weeks. And what do we get? Magnus saying, I know this guy for a long time. He's my friend. Come in this ring so I can knock your teeth down your throat. And that's what we get. We get a Magnus versus Wes Briscoe. And you can see clearly who is the better wrestler, who is a mid-carder, and who is obviously can be easily an upper mid-carder to a main eventer. Magnus is a main eventer to me. If he can't go into the main event, he's clearly upper mid-card. And technically he wins because everyone else rushes him in. Now what do we get? We get a Samoa Joe coming in to protect him. Now what does this mean? Does this mean Samoa Joe and Magnus are teaming back up again? It might be possible because of the segment I'm about to say next. And I wish to say that if they do tag them back up, we're going to have roughly 5 tag teams, I believe. You're going to have Dirty Heels. You're going to have Bad Influence. You're going to have basically Samoa Joe and Magnus. You're going to have Stereotypicals. And then you're going to have the Storm and the mystery partner I'm about to say right now, which you already know about, but I'm actually quite surprised they used them. Now, when Storm had his in-ring segment, he was going to say who he was going to say. First, it was Dirty Heels that came out, sorry. And hearing a Robert Roode talk was really good. It was good to see him putting over Storm, but then it was good to see him putting over his partner Austin Aries. Bad Influence coming out, and they're always entertaining, which I liked. But then you see Shark Boy. Hell yeah. Now, I have not seen much of Shark Boy's work. Someone tell me down below, has he always been that kind of Austin type of person, just using it in a fish type of way? It was entertaining to hear him talk. Please tell me down below. I haven't really seen much of Shark Boy's work. I'm sorry. Like I said, I only got into the product around 2009, roughly, nearing 2010. I haven't really seen much of the product. So really, it was entertaining to see him until Robbie E came out. And then it just became stupid. Seeing him having all those names. Yo, bro, let's drink some beer. Or yo, bro, ho, or whatever. That was just stupid. But that's what Robbie E is. He's a jobber who acts like he's entertaining and it's stupid. But the person that comes out, Gunner comes out. And he's the one that nails both Shark Boy and Robbie E. And Storm picks him. Ooh. Is this the right choice? Well, in a sense, yes, sort of. I mean, Gunner hasn't been seen for maybe 5 or 6 months. We saw him like with Crimson. Really nothing for them to do. But Gunner isn't 100% a bad talent. He worked with Ric Flair at one point. So he does have potential. It's going to count on if their chemistry is going to work. I'm sorry. Like I said, with Austin Aries and Robert Roode, that was a joyous happenstance. It was wonderful. The Wet Dream Team coming together. Such great heels. Good charisma. Good in-ring work. Good in-ring presence. You would hope they would work together, and in the end they did. Sometimes it doesn't always work. The chemistry doesn't work. So I don't know if Gunner and Storm is going to work. So we won't know until like next week and then Slammiversary after that. I'm hoping it will work, but I just don't know. Now, I'm going to move on to, okay, I'm going to move on to the knockouts. Knockouts. I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping I'm right about my idea, but in general, I don't know if they're doing very well. We saw Kim talking about getting treated bad because she should be the one that's going after the knockout championship, and Terrence Terrell nails her. Basically acts like a nut bitch. A nutty bitch, whatever you want to call her. A crazy woman. It's good for Slammiversary, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say if it's good or bad. It's just good to going into the show for the last women's standing match, or the last knockout standing match, which I don't think that's ever happened before in nationwide television. If anybody has, tell me below. Not in the indie, just from TNA or WWE. As far as I know, it's never been done. Steel Cage, yes, with Tara and Mickie Jane, but not a last woman's standing match. That is really cool. Now going to Velvet and Mickie. Mickie stays a face and wins the match. Now, we really needed her to turn heel. But I'm thinking this, and I'm hoping I'm right. Please tell me, ladies and gentlemen, if you think this is a good idea and TNA may have actually thought this. They don't want to turn Mickie heel on a show. They want to turn her heel on a pay-per-view. So they made sure that a Velvet wins one match, a Mickie wins another match, and then they settle it on Slammiversary. I know Mickie jobbed twice. But putting it in this perspective, Mickie lost, then won, and now she gets to have to do a rematch at Slammiversary. Putting it like that. If they're going for that Mickie Jane turns heel then, I could understand it, the idea of it. Now, if Mickie doesn't face at all Velvet Sky at Slammiversary, then they have switched one person for another, and it's stupid. They needed a heel for Velvet to go up against, and there is none. Now, Mickey's in that position where they need her to have a heel to go up against. Continually going up against faces gets boring very quickly, and we've already gone through now 3 times already. So I'm hoping they'll turn her heel at Slammiversary instead of on the show. Unless she turns heel on the show going into Slammiversary, then I'll understand. Maybe she'll get an attitude and then that'll be it. But we'll find out next week. Now, the Angle and Anderson match. I want to get this over with. I really want to get it over with. The Angle match with Anderson was an average match. Nothing new. Seeing AJ there, where he really distracts Angle and then basically Angle loses, leads up in the night. Now I'll be doing that later. But the reason I want to get this over with was because I want to talk about basically Kurt Angle going to New York and trying to promote the wrestling matches that were there. That was in Grand Central Station. Unfortunately, I didn't even realize it. And being the way I am, I can't walk very well. So travel is kind of hard for me. But the point of this entire thing, and I'm not a big Angle fan, particularly what he did at the Danny Hodge Lou Fez Museum, where he did not come and get his plaque. I hate him for that. The Off the Rope Show Central used to have a video of it. They don't have it anymore. But the museum, they do deal with them. But I'm taking away from that. The only reason I'm saying this is because he's trying to save wrestling in the Olympics. And I felt that was the right thing to do. I don't agree with Angle. I don't like Angle. But it was the wise thing to do to try and promote someone who is a former Olympian who also is known internationally. So I'm leaving it at that. Now moving on to I'm going to do the Hogan bit with the family and friend before I get to the AJ segment. Hogan in the beginning of the show, people popped for his ass and they loved it. Sting coming out and pretty much he's trying to convince Sting not to do it, and Sting does. And I'm glad that the stipulation is in. I don't want to see Sting in the title scene again. It should be really Matt Morgan in that position. That's my real feeling about it. They need someone young in there, but they're not doing it. So it's good to see that Sting has a stipulation, and I hope he does lose. But the thing that's interesting here is when Brooke came out. We haven't heard much of Brooke. And I said this before and I'll say it again. Brooke Hogan, who is the daughter of Hulk. She's the second generation knockout in a sense. She's the next generation. She wants to be in the business, but they don't show her much. She may not be a wrestler, but she can be a promoter. She can be a manager. She can do other stuff. But if you don't show her enough, she will never get over and people will not know her that well. So it was good to see her in this position. It is good to see her being used. And I know that Ms. Impact, and periodically I talk about Ms. Impact, because she really loves Brooke Hogan. She really believes she has more potential. And I believe that myself. Not because she's a good-looking woman who's tall, nice butt, nice boobs, and not a bad-looking face, a pretty face. But it's the point that she could get over if she's given the opportunity. She's not like Garnia's son. And he was just handed him the mantle of being seen and presented, and he just couldn't do it. Brooke Hogan could have potential, but if they don't show it, it just doesn't work. But seeing the in-ring segment where she blamed herself and she wanted to quit was not bad. The person that makes it more interesting is Bully Ray saying that, I still love you, I'm not leaving you, I'm keeping my ring, everyone blame me. But you know what, Brooke? I blame you because I still love you. And then you see a short, less than 10 to 20 seconds of them saying, you said you still love me, are you lying? And he says, no. And you see how she acted. She may not be a great actress, but she is trying to play with the storyline. Most people don't always do. So this could be her turning heel. This could be the catalyst for it, and I'm glad it's being shown. And I'm sure Ms. Impact is really happy about that. I don't know about Miss Juicy Sparkles, who's another subscriber of mine. I don't know if she really likes Brooke Hogan or not, but I would say that maybe if she thought about it, she might say this might work. Or she'll say that it's just a rehashing of the McMahon-Helmsley type of thing, which it will be if it actually happens. And it won't be a bad thing, but it won't be a good thing either. It's not something we haven't seen, but we haven't seen it in a while. Now, I'm moving on to the AJ segment. Oh wait, I almost forgot. The segment with Sting and Joseph Park was good. Knowing that Joseph Park is going to be having a wrestling match with Sting, at least you'll see Joseph Park. Maybe we might even have some type of information about this. You never know. But the AJ segment is the most important thing. Seeing everybody go into the ring was good. From Aces and 8. That need to be there. Angle coming down. Particularly once AJ was called out. Was good. Seeing AJ drink a beer when he supposedly don't drink. Okay. I really felt still, before this turn happened, AJ was still possibly could be a lone wolf. I said this in my last review. Look at it for yourself. I said that, yeah, he may get a cut, but you know what? He may still be a lone wolf. And I was right. He attacks Doc. He attacks Mike. He attacks Anderson. Then leaves. Yeah. This is where I believe is the best thing. Having AJ, the flagship of their company, stay a lone wolf is the perfect thing to do. We don't know who he's going after next. We don't know who is going to be messing with AJ next. This is all about AJ. Now this is being switched over from Aces and Eights and Bully Ray, where I know that Sting is being involved. This could be leading into the BFG series and going into Bound for Glory, where AJ is the one that's going up against Bully Ray. The leader, the flagship of TNA, even if he's not supposed to be part of it, goes and gets the title. This, if it does happen, will be good storytelling. As much as I can't stand Aces and Eights, as much as I wish they'd go away, if this happens, it would make sense why they tore down AJ, rebuilt him, made him dark, and then when he should have gone to Aces and Eights, he goes off and then eventually meets them again and wins the fucking title. This is what could happen. And how do I rate this show? B. because of the AJ segment. Everything else wasn't too bad. I know it's Storm isn't bad. I'm not sure about Gunner, but I'm leaving it like that because that's how I feel. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you have a good day.